Good evening, everyone, and welcome. I'm Bill Wald. I'm the CSIA Executive Director, and I'm here tonight to talk to you about New Year's resolutions for your chimney. In a short moment, I'll be joined by the president of CSI, Tommy Nelms. But I just want to remind everybody it's 2023. We got a lot going on. And for you, for the consumers, we'll have a number of items going on this year. We're going to try some surprises, some new information. We're going to be doing some new training for outside organizations so that the people that you work with will be more informed. And it's my pleasure to introduce the president of CSIA, Mr. Tommy Nelms.
Thank you, Bill.
Take it.
Well, thank you, Bill. Thanks for doing the intro there. Had some technical difficulties. But, Bill, I don't know what you brought everybody up to speed on, but I want to wish everybody a happy 2023. I hope everybody's off to a great new year, happy, healthy, and I hope the holidays were good. I hope you got to spend a lot of quality time with your family. And I can tell you I'm glad to be back doing this, Bill, and taking the fireside chat and educating the consumer. I think it's been really effective, Bill. I mean, you can probably speak to it. You're at the center every day. And I think that the homeowners have really responded well to this. I know that the call volume has certainly increased and we get a lot of questions there at the tech center. And so when we were brainstorming on, hey, what do we want our first show to be to kick off 2023? We figured, well, we might as well jump on the bandwagon of New Year's resolutions, answering some common questions that we are getting, and just give some tips. So, Bill, what are you seeing around the CERT Center, man? What are you hearing from the folks across America?
Well, we're getting a lot of consumer calls at the CERT building, and a lot of them are questions about their fireplaces and their dryer vents. I think because we're doing more education, more consumer education, people are more aware. So they want to know, where do they find a certified sweep in their area to come and take care of it? Or they ask questions about certain things. They're starting to notice things about their fireplace.
Right.
So they call us regarding it, and they tell them to go online and look for the sweep through our online consumer places. So it's a multitude of questions across the board.
Yeah. And hey, man, that actually encourages me, because if they're asking questions, that means that they have a desire to get educated. They know where to come to get that education. Like we've said a million times, Bill, fire prevention starts with education. That is
right.
That is in our industry. The men and women are our CSI certified sweeps, our CSI certified dryer exhaust technicians. That is their number one focus. That's educating the consumer, because that's what our most important job. And you hear all these New Year's resolutions, and really, Bill, when you and I were talking about this, we really had one that we wanted to harp on. And again, if you have questions before we get too far into it, if you're watching this, if you have questions, jump in. We love your comments. We love your questions. And share, follow us. We want your involvement. But as we jump in on the New Year's resolution, Bill, you and I both came up with the same thing. And that was make a plan, right?
Yeah.
Let's plan. Let's do it. Let's do this early. And I think that what most people, don't really understand is that your fireplace, it doesn't matter what type it is. It's an appliance, right? It's no different than your HVAC system, your water heater, your range, your stove. All of those things require routine maintenance. Washer, dryer, what have you. Your fireplace is no different. And I would argue that in your home, it is probably the most important appliance that you want to maintain, because you want to make sure that it is functioning properly. And one of the calls that we get, unfortunately, Bill, at the CERT Center is that, man, it's taken forever to get somebody out here. Are you
Right.
hearing that? Bill, do you hear that a lot by any chance?
We hear it a lot. And, one of the comments they make is 4 weeks. I can get an HVAC guy here in a day. Why does it take so long?
Right. And the answer to that, which is something that the CSI is working on, we've certified more men and women in the past 2 years than we ever have in our history, and we're rolling out a lot of education. But part of it is that when you talk about HVAC or you talk about plumbers, they're not getting inundated at one particular time of the year. You can almost do it like clockwork. In Tennessee, when we have that first frost, everybody at that point, it's like the light switch goes off. I want to use my fireplace. Now, myself and other CSI certified sweeps that are in our market have done a really good job of educating our customer to make that plan and to plan ahead, right? Because if you move that appointment, instead of calling in September, October, November, one of the biggest things around our office is everybody calls and they want to use their fireplace Thanksgiving, right? Man, my grandmother's coming in town. She loves the fireplace. We want to sit around the fireplace. That's what they're designed for. A fireplace is designed. That's why we call this the fireside chat. People have been gathering around fires since the beginning of time to fellowship with one another, to spend time with one another, to have conversations. And it's a great place to do that. And we want you to be able to do that. The problem is that, man, we just get inundated with all of this work. And so if you make a plan and you get your fireplace serviced in the spring and in the summer when you're not thinking about it, it's the last thing on your mind. By the time it gets cold, you are good to go. It's that fireplace it's ready for the burning season. You've had your sweeping and inspection. You had your CSIA certified chimney sweep or your dryer exhaust technician come out, look at your dryer vent. Everything is ready to go. And that way you don't have to wait. And in the event that you have a repair, a lot of times we deal with masonry fireplaces. Well, those repairs are weather dependent. And if it is really, really cold, we can't do that exterior work, which may mean that, hey, we can't, your fireplace is going to be down until we get that fixed. If you make a plan and you get that sweeping and that inspection done in the spring and the summer, then you are good to go. At the fire department, we used to always talk about when the clock changed, right? When we would spring forward, right? Which I think Indiana, you don't even have daylight savings. I don't think, Bill. I don't know. But if you have that and your clock changes, you have to either move forward or backwards, fall back or spring forward. We used to always tell people at that point in time at the fire department, that is a great time to change the battery in your smoke detector. We tell everybody that is a great time to start scheduling your sweeping and inspection of your systems in your home. Get that knocked out. And man, by the time it gets cold, all you got to do is just go and enjoy it. And that's what we want. That's what we want, Bill. I know you guys at the Tech Center, everybody that works day in and day out for the consumers of America and for our men and women that are certified through the CSI. I know that you guys would love to be able to educate and get people to do that as well. I'm sure that it's hard to tell people, hey, we're doing the best we can.
Well, and that's exactly it. I mean, we certified 20 new sweeps today in our New Hampshire campus. So there's 20 new guys and women out there who are doing it today. We certified 19 new CDET for dryer technicians today. There's 19 new people out there. So we understand the market, and we know we're learning how quick things can change, consumer desires. And now that the pandemic is over, people are gathering again and doing things. This is one of those items that they are really, because they were stuck in their house and nobody could come in to do those kind of things. Now they're trying to get them done as quickly as possible. And again, a plan. now that we're in 2023, and I think this is going to be the last daylight savings time too.
Okay.
I think the government passed something that we're not flying back or whatever we did.
Okay, nice.
That would be real nice. But
yeah, it's terrible when it gets dark at like 4:00.
Oh, it's bad for the kids too, and it's just they can't play. But anyway, it is to set up a plan, just like you're going to be doing in April and May for your air conditioner, because no one down in the South is, if you're in Tennessee, you got that humidity and that heat.
That's right.
Do your fireplace, that's a good time to do it a few months after that. Because if something is wrong, like Tommy said, at least you have time to have it fixed. And that's not November 24th.
That's exactly right. So we actually just had our HVAC folks come out the other day for a couple of different things. And I told him while he was there, I'm like, hey, just check out our air conditioning side of our HVAC and make sure that, if there's any routine maintenance that we need to do, just kind of do a full workup, check all of that out, because in Tennessee, when it gets hot, hot. And the humidity is bad. And what you do not want is to have your air conditioner go down, because I've had that happen before where my air conditioner went out and I had to wait a while because we had a bad heat wave that came through and everybody's air conditioners were going down, and the HVAC guys were doing all they could to keep up with that. And so I can sympathize with that. And I understand how badly people want to use that fireplace. And that is why right now is the best time to do that.
Right.
Reach out, go to CSIA.org, find the suite that is local to your area, have he or she come out and service your system, and then you'll be ready to go. You can call now and schedule it for the spring and for the summer, right? And that's the time to do it. Now we had an entire show dedicated to this, talking about firewood. Now is the time to start stacking your firewood, like John Caesar talked about, in preparations for 23. So it's ready to go. You're using seasoned wood. It's stored in a dry place and it's ready to go. Then you just don't have to worry about it. Preparation is the key for success. And just like everything that we do, we tell all of our students when they come through the CSI, whether it's the training academy or whether it's CDET or whatever class you're going to take, prepare before you come and your success rate is going to be much better. It's the exact same thing when it concerns your home. You need to make those preparations now. If you don't want to wait, you don't have to. That's the beautiful thing. You can go ahead and you can pre-schedule that. And let's jump in. We kind of touched on this a little bit, Bill, but the thing is that, a lot of times, things can change. We have some customers that are like, well, we had you guys out to sweep it, 5 years ago, and I need to do it again. And that is our opportunity to educate that person and say, well, you really need to be doing this every single year. NFPA 211 recommends an annual inspection, and you need to do it every year and get on the routine to do that, because it's never. I think we've kind of explained this enough, and we talk about it. The consequences for having a system that could possibly have a defect in it are it's a lot. And we had Wiley Jones on, and so who I worked with Wiley at the fire department. And so we kind of saw it from his perspective of what almost happened to Wiley. We don't want that to happen to anybody. And those inspections are the key. And if a defect is found, there's plenty of time to get that repair scheduled and done before the next burning season happens. Now, I know that there are some regions of the country right now where it's still really, really cold. John Caesar, who's going to be the next chairman of the CSIA, he's in New Hampshire, and they had to work overtime and squeeze in a 5-day class into 4 days, staying till late at night because they have a huge snowstorm coming in. I can tell you where I am, right outside of Nashville, it was almost 70 degrees today. Now, Tomorrow morning, it's going to be in the 30s, and then it's going to get back up to almost 70 degrees. And, so it's a weird weather pattern. I know on the West Coast, our folks out in California, the entire West Coast, Oregon, Washington, all those places, man, they have had just torrential downpours of rain. And so all of those things can cause problems, right? You can have a freeze thaw. In Tennessee, it's not uncommon you're going to dress in your winter clothes in the morning, and then you're going to be in shorts and a t-shirt by the afternoon. I take my kids to school every morning, and, in the morning it's cold. So, man, they are bundled up. They're freezing. I've started the car. I've tried to warm it up. And I'm like, boys, I'm just telling you, I have two boys. They're 12 and 10, Boone and Wyatt. And by the end of the day, I will tell them, boys, wear layers, because you're going to want to peel those layers off, because you're going to get hot throughout the day. Sometimes they listen. Sometimes they don't. And then I'll see them at the end of the day, and I'm like, did you get hot? Dad, I burned up today. Recess is so hot. I'm like, I tried to tell you. And it's important to understand that, because a lot of times, Bill, we've talked about this a lot, that,
yes,
chimneys, especially masonry chimneys. Let's take a masonry chimney, a brick chimney that's built in your home. Could be brick, could be stone, whatever it may be. A lot of people think, well, that's the strongest portion of my house. And sometimes that may be the case. And a lot of people think, well, you'll see a house that's totally gone, but you'll just see a chimney standing in the middle of a field. There's one down the road from where we live. And which it's true. It's structurally, it's very, very strong, but it's also very, very fragile, in that a small crack can have catastrophic failures. And so that's why we talk about that. And Bill, with all of the weather, I meant to ask you earlier that all the rain and everything and all these weird weather patterns, are we getting any calls at the CERT Center, people talking about that? Anything?
We do get some calls about that. And the reason why is because, for one thing, on the West Coast, you have to remember that rain that's happening, and that's coming from salt water.
Right.
And salt's not good for chimneys, and it's not good for masonry.
Right.
And that can get into spots and things like that. And there is concerns about that. And what do they do? How do they figure out, after the rains come through, if there's any damage and things like that? And that was one of the questions I did get a couple of days ago from somebody that had some concerns about that. And it is a problem. And it just, in general, the change in weather from, as you said, Tommy, and it's not just happening in Tennessee. I mean, here in Indiana, one day it can be 60, the next day it's 25.
Right. Yeah.
Those weather changes in heat and patterns make a difference on everything, even your home.
Yes.
Let alone your chimney.
100%. And I'm glad you kind of brought that up with people calling, because a lot of people will tell us, well, my fireplace has leaked for forever. It's fine.
Yeah. Well,
it shouldn't leak. If you see water in your firebox, where you put the wood, where your gas logs are, if there's water in there, there's a problem, right? If you hear drips, if you even have a suspicion that, man, I wonder if water's getting in there, you need to call a CSIA certified sweep. That man or woman will come out and check everything out for you, because we want to keep that water out of there, because water is extremely damaging. I think when Bill Ryan was on, Bill's really, really big on inspections. Man, he is so thorough and so knowledgeable. We talked about the damage that water can do, and you hit on it. Water and masonry, it's that prolonged exposure, or a tremendous amount of water can do a lot of damage very, very quickly. And so if you're seeing water, standing water, if it looks damp, if you're seeing water at the ceiling where your fireplace is, if you walk outside your house and it looks like there's a part of your chimney that's really, really dark, or if you have like almost like a black stain or mold, it looks like, or especially we've pulled trees out of chimneys before that have grown in the side of a chimney. That none of that is good. None of that is good. It's all has to be remediated and taken care of. So those are some tips if you're out there walking around your house or sitting in your living room, wherever your fireplace is, and you're looking at it. Water is not good. Water is not good. I imagine that the folks on the West Coast are getting hit pretty hard with those calls right now. And I will tell you, sometimes those calls can be, or those leaks can be difficult to find. It could be a pinhole. Could be a pinhole. And it's important. And Penny asked a question. Lots of calls we get are homeowners who say, I don't need it swept, I need it repaired. They don't understand what all sweeps can do. We have to explain it to them. So that's actually a good point. A lot of times people will say, I need my chimney cleaned. In our industry, we don't use that terminology. We call it sweepings or swept. We swept your chimney. And here's the analogy that I like to give. When we think of cleaning things, whether that's cleaning the refrigerator, that's cleaning the oven or the stove, or, Bill, I think you've said before, everything's marketed to consumers right now. Hey, drop a tablet in your washing machine.
Right.
In your washing machine, you can clean your dishwasher. I explain it as like cleaning dishes. Okay. So when we talk about cleaning dishes, there's debris on that dish, there's food or whatever. We scrub it with soap and water. And when we take that dish out or we pull it out of the dishwasher, it's as clean as it was the day we bought it, right? Or the appearance of clean. So in a fireplace, that's almost impossible. That's why we say that if creosote is present and it's greater than 1/8 of an inch, it needs to be removed. Now, just because you reach your hand up into a fireplace or you grab your damper handle and it comes back and you have a little black on your hands, doesn't mean that we didn't sweep that fireplace. It gets in so many places in the way that we sweep it. If we could completely remediate it and completely remove it, that would be ideal. But what we want to do is we want to remove as much of that creosote as we possibly can in the system. There are going to be nooks and crannies where we cannot get it, but we're going to do our best to get as much of it out as we possibly can. But we're never going to say that it's completely clean because we don't know that, right? We can't see everything, right? It's not like I can't pick up your fireplace and look at a dish and inspect every single nook and cranny of it.
Right.
Even those washing machine things, if you ever watch those videos, they say clean, but they never they do a good job, but it can never get it like it was when it was made, right? But having it swept, having an inspection removes that creosote, most of it. We're never going to get rid of all of it. And running the cameras and doing a full workup, getting on the roof, all of those aspects are what are going to mitigate the chance of something bad happening, which is what we're trying to prevent. A swept flue, one that the creosote is less than 1/8 of an inch, brushes have gone up, and we get that vacuumed out of there with our HEPA vacuums. It's going to reduce the likelihood of a flue fire, and that's what we're trying to do, right? That is our main objective. And our inspections are thorough because they have to be, because the consequences are so great. And that's the difference between a clean and a sweep, right? So understand, if you call a CSIA certified professional and you say, hey, I need a chimney clean, they're going to know what you mean. Okay. They're going to know exactly what you mean. But there's a big difference between clean and sweeping, right? So we're sweeping, even like we have hardwood floors. When you sweep the hardwood floors, are you getting rid of all of the dust? No, but you're getting rid of most of it. And that's the idea.
Your fireplace is like every other appliance in your home, and you have to treat it that way.
Right.
And take care of it. But what's worse about it is, it's a wonderful feature, but you're intentionally, as we've talked before, Tommy, a million times, you're intentionally starting a fire in your home.
That's right.
You're not doing that with a dishwasher. You're not doing that with a dryer, unless it's gas. You know what I mean? Or propane or some other product, natural gas. But here, in front of your whole family, you have a fire going, a raging fire going. So it's important to make sure you plan to have that appliance well taken care of to protect you and your family when it's time to use it.
That's exactly right. It's kind of like, when you go take your vehicle and you get your oil changed, right? They're not simply just crawling underneath the car, undoing the oil drain plug, dumping all the oil out, putting the plug back and filling it back with oil. They're checking a lot of different things. They're checking tire pressure. They're checking your headlights, your turn signals, your brake lights. They're checking your washer fluid, your radiator fluid, the tread life on your tire. If you want them to, they'll look at your brakes. It's so many different things that they do as a part of a routine, regular service. It's the same thing with fireplaces. That's what CSI certified sweeps do. They're checking more than just that, right? If you want to learn more about that, I would recommend you go back and watch that episode with Bill Ryan about the inspections. Go watch the episode about how to prepare your firewood with John Caesar. Go watch the episode with Bart Ogden about what you can expect. Go watch the episode with Mike Segerstrom about how to properly use your fireplace and light a fire. And so Penny made a good point. Educating the homeowner is so important. She gets this call a lot. We're talking about sweeps versus cleanings. And it's so important that the homeowner become educated. And that's why we're here tonight, right? That's why Bill and myself and our staff and all of it. It's important to know that CSI certified sweeps, in order to maintain that credential, they have to have continuing education units over a 3-year span. So they're constantly having to learn. So they're educating themselves, and in turn, they're educating the homeowner. And that's what we're trying to do, is build this library of resources for men and women, moms, dads, grandmothers, brothers, sisters, whoever, to be able to find that information. Our website has a tremendous amount of information on it, Bill. And I know that this is a great segue, because I know that you've got some big plans, for the CSI and the outreach program with, branching out to different industries that touch homeowners a lot. I know Bill's background, he's done a lot of work with realty associations. We've had realtors on this show.
Right.
And so I know that in 2023, we've got some pretty big plans. I know that, we've got articles in USA Today, in other publications, and just trying to, so maybe Bill, you could kind of talk to the homeowner and say, hey, these are some big plans that we have for 2023. This is what we're going to do, because I think it's really cool. I think it's really exciting.
Well, one of the things we're going to do in 2023 is educate the homeowner more.
Yeah.
Between that word clean and that word sweep. I mean, it is a confusing thing. And Penny brings this up from the calls. And because the consumer, I look at myself very much as a consumer, even though I work in the industry now, I can say that. But you have, when you work in an industry, you have to think back to what you were thinking. There's a ton of white smoke coming out. What does that mean coming out of my chimney? Well, It's not a new pope. I know that.
Right. Yeah.
Am I burning wet wood? Did I not have it covered, or what happened that all this stuff is bellowing out of my chimney and all the neighbors think my house is on fire? I mean, there are things that we need to educate the consumer on, and we're going to be doing that throughout 2023. Just little signals to look for, little tiny things to look for. I mean, you can look up your chimney, and if you see bricks coming off, there's a problem.
Right.
I mean, that's when you have to call a CSI certified chimney sweep. If you see bricks coming off, there's a problem. I mean, if you hear in the spring, some chirping in your fireplace, you got a problem. I mean, you're going to need to get that cleaned out, because that's not a paranormal event, that is birds that now have a nest in your fireplace. So it's just really common sense things that we forget about when we have a fireplace, but we don't forget about them with our heating and air conditioning systems and our dishwasher, but we do somehow with our fireplace. So we want to make sure that every homeowner is protected. And then we're going to really work hard this in 2023 to do that.
Absolutely. And I know, Bill, that we've got some great additions to the staff that are going to help us with that branding and getting that marketing out there. And we've got new additions that are going to do more build out on our website and on that content out there, right? I was excited that when we got the publication in USA Today, right? And I think what you said, it went how many homes did they estimate that was going to go to?
Tens of thousands.
Yeah.
I mean, the numbers were so large that, and I think that because it came out on the 29th of December, that increased our phone calls since then.
Right.
Because people got a little bit educated. Once you educate somebody a little bit, or when friends are starting to talk amongst themselves, oh, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. Oh, by the way, we had the chimney sweep out, and I'm going to tell you what a difference it was. You know, one person tells 15, and then that person tells 15. This industry is starting to grow like that, with the consumers. So we got to be prepared for it.
At 100%. Yeah. And you know, and it's those outreach programs for people to be looking for in your local communities that we're going to be shooting for. Be looking for us in a lot more major publications to be announced soon. And again, the most important thing is that homeowners know that they have a place to call. That, you know, we have people, we have a full dedicated staff. That's all they do. All they do is work for CSIA, a full staff. Nobody else has that. And that's what they do. And they work hard every single day serving our professionals and also the consumers. And so do not hesitate to give them a call. And hey, listen, if you're ever in the area and you want to come check it out, give them a call. Come on by. We have a world-class facility with a lot of really cool stuff. And we have enjoyed this so much, Bill. This has been one of my favorite things. I'll tell everybody that you know, here in the next couple of months, you'll have a new host. As my time as CSI president is coming to an end, and you know, this has been one of the funnest things, Bill, with just the interaction and just the feedback that I've gotten from not only the industry, which is they're always so supportive, but just the consumer as well. People that have seen this and found it on Facebook and shot me a message and said, "Hey, thanks so much," or I never known about any of that stuff, and so I went to your website and I found a local sweep, CSI certified sweep, and they're coming out to my house. And if we make a difference in one home, it's all this time has been worth it. And it's been so fun for me, Bill. I have enjoyed this so much. I will miss it, but I will be making comments, and I will be a watcher and listener of the Fireside Chat. But it's been a lot of fun. So, Bill, thanks for always putting this together and brainstorming these topics and ideas with us. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, Tommy, you created this. I came into it and just, you know, gave a different outlook from the consumer side and a real estate side. But we do have a lot of more topics coming up over the next 2 months, and we may be having some special guests.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
You know, the public's got to keep watching this because they may be shocked at who they see on this show in the next couple months. So.
Yes, that is very, very true. But again, if you could do me a favor, you know, like the CSI Facebook page, follow us. Man, please share this video. You know, if you don't like, if you don't follow, man, share the video with your friends. And,
Right.
and there's the ticker on the bottom. We're on, Instagram and all of your social media, YouTube, Twitter, all of that good stuff. So like us and follow us there. Ask questions. The more you ask, the more we know kind of what people are looking for, and that helps us out a lot. And the CSIA is a resource for the homeowner, and our job is the conduit to connect the dots for the consumer between the professional and the end user. And that's one of our missions. And so we have definitely put a lot more emphasis on that. And this is part of it. And this has been so fun. But yeah, we've got a couple more shows left to do. And it's going to be a lot of fun. But John Caesar's going to do a great job. He's been a guest. And he'll take this and run with it and do an amazing job. But thank you all for always tuning in and asking questions, and for your support and your encouragement, and for what you do. If you're a homeowner, thank you for taking the time to get educated. It means a tremendous amount to us, and we really, really, really appreciate it. That's how you can support us is come to us for your education. Come to us and ask questions. Tell us what you need. And to our industry professionals, thank you for all you do. The men and women out there that are out there servicing these chimneys all across America. And we've got CSIA sweeps in Europe and in Canada, kind of all over. And so thank you for all of your support. And so we'll be back 2 weeks from tonight, Bill.
Yep.
And with another topic. So be looking for that on Facebook, because we always put that out prior to the show, so you can kind of be thinking about it. And I hope everybody has a wonderful evening and a wonderful 2023 and a great weekend. So enjoy your evening. Thank you. And remember, Bill, what is the one New Year's resolution that we want everybody to do?
Plan ahead. Plan ahead to get your chimney swept.
Yes.
Ahead of time.
That's right. Make a
Not
plan.
2 days before Thanksgiving.
That's right.
Delayed.
That's right. Spring cleaning. Cleaning. Add chimney, fireplace, dryer vent. Add all of those things to that spring cleaning list.
Yep.
And with that, Bill, we will see everybody in 2 weeks. Thank you all so much.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah. Bye-bye.